Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And in this video, we're going to be talking to you about, is my ex playing mind games?
Like Monopoly?
Yeah, it's a good one.
Scrabble?
I was thinking Tetris. It's a personal favorite of mine. Nobody wants to feel like a fool or that they're being played or manipulated. And it can be very confusing trying to figure out how authentic somebody's being.
Mm-hmm. Right. And people can have a lot of mixed messages, which makes them act in a lot of mixed ways.
Yep.
So they might be super promising to spend time together, then very flaky. They can be super interested and then the next day show you a different kind of energy. And so when we get these kind of mixed messages from someone, we can't help but think sometimes that they're playing games. We're thinking, okay, are they just messing with me or are they being authentic? Can somebody change their mind like this? Can somebody be so on and off, so yes and no? And so ambivalence is one of those things that we see oftentimes when we hear you guys talking about, my ex is playing games, or this girl or this guy that I'm seeing or this person I'm seeing, they're playing games. A lot of times it's ambivalence on their end.
Yeah.
And people don't know how to handle ambivalence very well.
No, it's one of the major struggles people have in life is ambivalence. But, sometimes it's also called like hot and cold behavior.
Yeah.
And you might see your ex doing things like that. Like they seem like they're going to see you. How many times do you see this? They make a plan, even if it's just to come get the stuff.
Yeah.
And then they don't contact you again about it. They're like, I'm going to come get the stuff next Thursday. And you're like, okay. And then you don't hear from them.
Yeah. I'll
And
talk
they
to you
just
tomorrow.
disappear.
And then you just don't.
Yeah.
Yep.
So why do they do these things? Are they playing games with you? Are they trying to provoke you? It's hard to know sometimes, especially if they're like, yes. A lot of times you'll be like, let's do a call, and they'll say we're going to schedule this call, and then they completely vanish. But why? Why are they doing this to people? It's like it feels very confusing, and it's keeping your hopes up, and they're not being clear about what is going on with them. So it really does mess with you.
Oh, yeah. They don't have that clarity for themselves internally. When somebody is feeling ambivalent internally, it always shows externally, meaning that their behaviors are going to show just that feeling of I'm not completely sure here. And it might not even be something, that's with malice. They might not be wanting to hurt you through this. They might just be confused, and it does hurt you as a result, or it can hurt you as a result.
Yeah. Now, sometimes you'll see them do things where it feels like they're testing you, or they're trying to get information to see how you react to things, to see if you still care. These little things with social media now. There's so many different things people will do on social media. They'll post these vague things. They'll text you back really, really slowly. And so you're like, what is happening here? Are they disinterested, or are they not ready to talk? They will post a song that you like, or, a TV show and a clip from it. And you're just like, it's obviously about me. I had one just a couple days ago where it was like, I just wanted to love you so much, but you weren't ready for all that. Something like that.
Or maybe they'll post a picture wearing something that you gave them.
Oh, yeah.
Then you're thinking, is this person wanting me to reach out? Are they wanting me to react or do something?
Well, it's like they want to know if you still care. They want to know if they can, because if they don't have to directly message you, if all they have to do is something that indirect and you crack, they win. Because now it's like, now I know what you want. Now I know you still care. Now I know I still have an emotional impact on you, and that those little sneaky things are going to work. You got to show strength in those situations. You don't want to fall for those indirect things, because we're looking for mature behavior. We're just looking for some kind of reach out.
Right. And sometimes you'll see this kind of social media behavior when they're trying to find that validation from you or from others. And they're also trying to fill their cup in however way they can. And a lot of times that's social media, that's, people messaging them, oh, you're out, you're doing this. Oh, you look good, or this is going on for you. Or to see that you've been watching their stories, or that you still care, that you're still interested, even on a tiny, tiny scale.
Yeah, they try and present to you like they're not struggling with it, that they're firm in their decision, but they're not. And you can see it when they're acting desperate. We have a client that you've done coachings with, who his ex is constantly posting pictures of herself working out, obviously trying to get attention. I have someone in my family is going through a breakup right now, and so I'm seeing their ex posting on social media, and it's like obvious they're going through a breakup. They're posting photos from 10 years ago.
Wow.
They're posting photos of their new tattoo or their haircut. They dye their hair. You see that a lot.
Yeah.
Or, these things about, it's so hard when you learn that the only people that would truly love you is your family, and things like that, right?
Yeah, it could be very dramatized because you're feeling intensity of emotion, and that's something as human beings we like to express. We express in a lot of different ways. Sometimes there can be impulsivity after a breakup. And so when you see that, you might be thinking, is this person just playing with me? Are they serious? What are they doing? Do they want a reaction out of me? All of this is really common, and it's important to stay centered no matter how much you think your ex is trying to play games with you. You can't play a game with somebody who refuses to play. I'll say that.
True. Yeah, that's a great point. So if you don't fall for these little tricks and these little traps or these little things to provoke you, then you're going to display confidence, which is the best thing that you can do. We're not telling you guys to do no contact as a game, okay? It's about respecting somebody's decision and walking away and showing them that you respect yourself, okay? So don't look at it as like a game, okay? Because we say if your ex reaches out, not to ignore them. We don't want you to play some kind of game like that because they may not reach out again.
Yeah.
Right? So we're just trying to get you to act like a healthy adult and reflect on what went wrong while you're in no contact. And the way that we teach no contact is to simply allow them to reach out to you first. Now, could your ex be trying to play a game with who cracks first, who's going to break first? Yes, they could be. But when your mindset is, I need to leave this person alone and process things, and if they reach out, then we can try and repair it. That's the great mindset to have. That's the one that you want to keep as your frame, so you're not trying to play silly, petty games with somebody, because you don't want to act like that with somebody that you care about.
Yeah, and we're trying to think about maturity. We're trying to think about taking people at their word. If they end the relationship, giving them that space to allow them to live their life. And if they do reach out, we want to have that maturity to hear them out and see what's going on.
That's right.
Of course, that's generalized, but when we're talking about exes playing games, we don't want to engage with that. We don't want to, if we see them doing those types of behaviors, we don't want to egg that on or add fuel to the fire. We want to be able to say, okay, they're on their own journey. They're expressing themselves in ways that might really provoke us, right? We might be like, I can't believe that person posted that or said that or did that. But we got to be able to manage our own emotions at this time. A lot of times we'll see our ex as, the person that we want to express all of our heartache to and our grief and everything we're thinking about the relationship and the breakup. Once they ended the relationship, that's no longer their role is to be there and support you in that way.
I know it's so unfortunate because you want to connect with them. You want to try and talk to them about things. You want to try and repair things with them. But they're not likely ready. They're probably still in a place where they're more confident about their decision. They're doubting that the relationship could work. And let's face it, many of us in a breakup are so manipulative at the start of it. The begging, the pleading, the handwritten letter, the grand gestures, all these things. I mean, I've seen so many of them that they're afraid to reach out because you're going to try and manipulate them. You're going to try and change their mind when they're not ready for it yet. Yeah. So that's a big part of the reason that they haven't reached out.
Yeah. So we have to be willing to give them their space. A lot of times these games are indirect behaviors, the social media, maybe talking to friends and family, trying to get messages across to you. So we don't want to engage in that. And if your ex is acting in these ways, it's important to consider, depending on what kind of games they're playing, is this the maturity of somebody that I want to be back in a relationship with.
Yeah.
Right? Because we understand that everybody has limits, and your ex might very well be playing games. I think most of the time, probably not, but sometimes maybe they are. And if they are engaging in some, really impulsive kind of behaviors or really just damaging behaviors, then we have to decide for ourselves, is that what we want to be a part of? So
they have to process things too in a healthy way, to where they are reflecting and looking back and taking accountability for themselves and how they showed up in the relationship, and not just blaming. If they're just blaming you, they're not ready, right? You need to see that they're showing signs of some internal ownership of how they caused the issues in the relationship. And, the focus has to be on what can we do to have something healthy here in the future. All right. Hopefully this one's been helpful to you. If you'd like to get our help personally, you could do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Zoom calls. Coach Victoria is also available for Zoom calls.
I'm here whenever you'd like to chat.
Just click on her name in the top of the website to schedule with her. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon.